Hello everyone and welcome to the video. I'm Inferno Paternal and I hope y'all are having a great day so far. In today's video I'm going to be giving you an explanation of each and every one of the classes in the PvP mode of Space Marine 2. Now a quick disclaimer, in this video I will not be going into great detail on all of the perks that there are for these classes because there are a ton. I will, however, have an article linked below in the description that goes into heavy detail of these perks for each class. Just for time's sake, I am not including them. However, there are various perks such as core perks, team perks, gear perks, and signature perks, which will allow you to personalize your own playstyle no matter what class you choose to main. And without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the first one, we have the tactical class, okay, which has an armor level of 3, and it's pretty much the most well-rounded class, okay, DPS if you will. Definitely one of the best, if not best class to play in Space Marine 2 PvP or PvE. What makes this loadout so superior is his higher armor level than the Assault and Vanguard class, which puts him a step ahead in providing phenomenal damage output and having the defense capabilities to keep going. That extra armor bar means everything in a fight, and I'm not discrediting the Assault or Vanguard class. I'm not. They each have their own pros and cons and different playstyles depending on who you are. However, the tactical is just more well-rounded. What's even more crazy about this class is his ability for scanning, and that's going to be his main ability, the Auspex Scan, which reveals enemies in the selected area and makes them more vulnerable. That is crazy. Not only does it reveal the enemies to your team, but it also makes them vulnerable, taking even more damage when you shoot or melee them. What also makes the tactical so viable is that it has the widest selection of primary weapons, and I'm going to list them off here. We have the bolt rifle, which is the fully automatic precision rifle. We have the auto bolt rifle, which is the fully automatic closer ranged rifle. We have the heavy bolt rifle, which is fully automatic and more mid-ranged. We have the bolt carbine. We have the marksman bolt carbine, the melter rifle, stalker bolt rifle, and the plasma incinerator. Now, you unlock these by playing the class more and leveling up your veterancy. But let me tell you, I can assure you that the plasma incinerator is worth it. The secondary weapon of this class is the bolt pistol, but we're not going to discredit it. We love the bolt pistol. It's pretty good. And the melee weapon is the chain sword. Alright? So, pretty well-rounded class here. You know, you've got your different grenades you can equip, which every class has the same type of grenades that you can use. Pretty nice armor we've got here going. Not too limited in anything and is perfect for starting off. The next class we have is the Assault. Alright, which has an armor level of 2. Not too good. This class primarily focuses on up-and-close combat with abilities catered towards aiding you in getting melee kills and having incredible mobility on the ground and the air through your jump pack. Your jump pack ability enables enhanced dashes and powerful jumps, resulting in new combat moves. So not only can you dodge out of the way of enemies, but your jump pack can shoot you into the air and you can do a dive bomb attack by being in the air and holding down the melee button. It's pretty crazy and very fun to do. And it's really interesting because you actually need the mobility with the jetpack because of the 2 armor levels, making it really rough to fight against the enemy team. Compared to the other classes that have higher leveled armor, you die real quick. And this goes for all of them that have the two levels of armor. Now let's go into the weapons real quick. You do not have a primary weapon with the Assault. That is an issue. But like I said earlier, you're going to be trying to get as close as possible with your pistol and then get some melee damage in, okay? So for the secondary weapon, we have the bolt pistol and the heavy bolt pistol. You're definitely going to want to get the heavy bolt pistol for some good action damage if you get close and can't melee them just yet. And the melee weapons we have are probably the best, I would say, right here. The chain sword, the thunder hammer, which is a phenomenal weapon. If you go into any match with an assault class that has a thunder hammer, you're probably going to die from it at least once. It's a slow melee weapon that deals powerful area effect damage. And then we have the power fist, which is just beautiful. I mean, come on, dude, look at that thing. My only complaint with this class is that while the class is good for mobility and helping you get closer to enemies, it is still extremely hard to do so. The ground pound has a very slow recovery time, so if you miss it, you're cooked. And I feel that there is a limit to how fast and quick you can be because, I mean, I get it, you are a space marine and you're in a giant mech and you're pretty slow, but the risk with your lower health or lower armor levels and having to get close makes it incredibly difficult to do well with. It's not my first go-to pick, but if that is your playstyle, go for it. Next class up, we have the Vanguard, which has an armor level of 2 as well. This class has the ability of grappling into or towards enemies with the grapnel launcher. As you can see, allows you to propel into an enemy and then perform a diving kick, which is very fun to do. Let me just say, the dive kick is very impressive, and this class is very good. One thing, however, is this class is best suited for fighting people one-on-one and singling out specific space marines as you run through the map. It's not good for fighting multiple people at once or, having to deal with multiple interactions at one time. It's quite similar to the assault class, but actually a bit better. Because I don't know if you guys see or know this, but the Vanguard has a primary weapon slot, which can be filled with the Oculus Bolt Carbine, which rapid fires mid-range and has an extended magazine, and the Instigator Bolt Carbine, which is amazing as well. So, you're basically an assault class. You have the same amount of mobility, kinda. You don't have the same melee weapons as this class only has the combat knife and the chainsword, and you're going to want that hammer and the fist as well. So you're kind of limited in the melee aspect. If you're going to be a melee player, you definitely want to go for the assault class. But you do have some good weapons here. You've got, the just standard bolt pistol, but the primary weapons are going to be what carries you and getting close to your opponent with the grapnel launcher. The grapnel launcher is great for traversing the map. It gives you great distance covered in a very short amount of time. You can use it to go across the map, run away from enemies, going towards your enemies, dive kicking your enemies, or just having plain fun. This class is great, and I see a lot of the top level people playing it right now. They really like the Vanguard, and they say it's top tier. And I think that you got to be pretty good before you're considered getting a lot of kills with this class. You can't just dive in and get kills, because if you dive kick into a heavy, you're done, dude. They got good DPS and heavy armor. Alright, going into the next one, we have the Bulwark, which has an armor level of 4 bars. This class is quite easy to pick up. It's the support, the support class that we kind of know through other games of this sort. It's well-rounded and definitely one of my favorites, if not favorite, to play. The 4 bars of armor give you a great advantage in attacking enemies while not dying as much. However, you do not have a primary weapon with this class, but the secondaries such as bolt pistol and the plasma pistol will do you just fine. You also have the melee weapons of the chainsword, the power sword, and the power fist. Now the power sword is very popular right now. It's a very good melee weapon, as well as the power fist. So you're not limited here on the melee. Alright, you may not have the primary, but you do have a good melee. And that's a pattern that we see a lot with these classes so far, is that you take away an aspect of the character, it gives you a benefit somewhere else and kind of just creates the class that it is, and I love that. Now the ability for this class is going to be the Chapter Banner, okay, which restores armor to all squad members in the area of effect. It's great for rushing in, giving your team more armor, or if one of your teammates is hurt and you just want to help them out real quick. It's great, and definitely a play style where you want to be next to your teammates. I also do want to mention some perks real quick, and that is going to be forward momentum, shock and awe, and defensive advantage. These are extremely helpful to this class's toolkit, and you should definitely look into getting these perks because they're going to make you a much better support in this aspect. Forward momentum helps you to have 25% increased melee damage for 5 seconds after a shield bash, and shock and awe makes enemies take 25% more damage in the shock zone that you create with shock grenades and other skills such as defensive advantage with the parry. Now, with this class, you will need to build your own style and develop the skills necessary to fully support your team. The perks and skills are so valuable to the team comp I feel as though every team should have at least one Bulwark. You will assist in helping your team with damage output and armor recovery as much as you can. It's just overall the perfect class here for support. Now going into the sniper. Okay, this is going to be the roguelike character of the game, the main roguelike guy, alright? You've got 2 levels of armor, which not so hot, but we've got some pretty cool abilities to make up for it. The ability is the camo cloak, which conceals you until your next attack. So if you attack, then it breaks, alright? And it's a pretty lengthy period, I would say, for being invisible. And this goes into our next point. The invisibility plays a very important role for what type of roguelike player you want to be, okay? Because most of the time, you're going to be wanting to have attacks centered from a hiding spot across the map so you can snipe enemies. However, the camo cloak can also be offensive. You can be an offensive rogue that sneaks up on your opponents with the other weapons at your disposal. And here are the other primary weapons that we have at our disposal. You know, we start off with the bolt sniper rifle. We have the bolt carbine, which is really, really good for up close. Then we have the stalker bolt rifle, which is pretty good for mid-range, I would say. And then the Lar Fusil. Alright, this is an energy rifle, which is crazy. It's scoped, and you're going to want to be long range for this one. But best believe you want to level that up and get this right here, and then play as your long range rogue. But you do have some options for being up close and personal. You can use that camo cloak to get close to someone, sneak up on them, and get your kill. But be careful, because you have 2 levels of armor, and if you go against a heavy or somebody that's got a little bit of an advantage, you might just be done for, alright? And the second weapon we have is the bolt pistol, and the melee is the combat knife. So you don't have much melee options to deal with here, but pretty viable class, very hard to master, hard to pick up. You gotta know how to aim. If you can't aim with that sniper or whatever gun you're using, you're not gonna do good, okay? So know how to play this class properly, play it to the play style that it caters to, and you will do perfect. Alright, now the last class, brothers, we have the Heavy. The Heavy, okay? Which has the ability of Iron Halo, which creates a powerful barrier blocking all ranged attacks. The Heavy has an armor level of 4, just like the Bulwark. Very tanky and heavy guy, and let me just say, compared to the Tactical, these 2 classes, the Heavy and the Tactical, are perfect for DPS. But I would say the Heavy might beat the Tactical in DPS just to the sheer amount of ammo that gets pulled out with this Heavy Bolter and the other weapons as well. We have the Heavy Bolter, the Multi-Meta, and the Heavy Plasma Incinerator. But this guy can put out some damage. And not only that, he can put out some damage while having his shield deployed. And you can play various playstyles or use them however you want, but the main reason you're going to be using them is to protect yourself from bullets or charging onto a site to gain zone control. You know what I'm saying? You could put your shield up and walk in front of one of your teammates. You can use it to help out or just to protect yourself and get kills. I think that this class is pretty well rounded as well. Although you don't have any melee weapons, you're not really going to be trying to get up close and personal to people as much unless they're facing in front of you, because if somebody sneaks up on you and they're behind you and you try to deploy your shield only deploys kind of in front of you, so there's a little opening behind you that you can get hit with, so be careful with that. And yeah, overall great class, great damage, very fun to play. So I think this is definitely an asset on your team as well. I mean, I don't know what the meta would be right now, but if I would have to choose one, I would say definitely 2 Tacticals, a Bulwark, and at least a Heavy, okay? And maybe a Vanguard. That'd be my main suggestion. Or take off one of the Tacticals and add a Sniper. Just get your boys on. Get your people on, man, and have your own team comp. This game is phenomenal. But yeah, guys, that is it for this video. Let me know if you enjoyed. Let me know if it helped you learn something. I hope it did. And if it didn't, let me know. Hey, I can do better. I can always do better, and I understand. So, if you guys want some more Space Marine content, just leave a like. Subscribe to the family. We'd love to have you. And, yeah, y'all have a fantastic day. Take it easy.